Am I the a-hole for wanting my husband to hold my hand during birth? I 35 female am 7 months pregnant. I am married to an family medicine doctor 35 male and we've been together 10 years. Throw away Reddit because my sil follows me on Reddit and reports everything to my husband. I'm reaching out to all of you to ask your advice on a fight my husband and I are having on our birth plan. My husband really wants to deliver the baby, which I can kind of understand. It's not uncommon for doctors to deliver their own kid. There is still an OB/GYN they're monitoring everything. And the doctor father steps in at the last minute as mom is crowning to just catch the baby. My husband has, I guess, always dreamed of being the one to pull the baby out. Well, I pictured it very differently. I thought he would be up by my head, holding my hand and helping me through it. He says he will do that. But the easiest part is the very end where I won't need him anyway. He said if I really want someone there, his mom can step in. I've been on my own since I was a kid living in my car, so I don't have anyone I'd want in there with me except him. I don't really even want his mom in there. She's great, but he's my person. I know it would be cool for him to deliver our baby, but I really feel like I need him there. I personally didn't want our doctors to know he was a doctor, because as soon as any of my doctors, or even our vet, finds out he's a doctor, they talk exclusively to him. I don't even want him to go the prenatal appointments anymore because no one talks to me. They all talk to him. And I can't ask my questions to anyone but my husband at home. But he's already told everyone he'll be delivering his first baby. I guess I don't want this because I wanted him to be there as a husband and a father, and not a doctor. I see him as a doctor 95% of the time, and I wanted to experience this with my husband and not my husband the doctor. I wanted him to be there for me, as this is my first birth and I'm terrified. He just keeps telling me I'll be fine. He pulled in friends, family who also don't understand my POV. They said this is his first child too, and to just let him have this since I had the honor of being pregnant. I just really wanted him to hold my hand all the way through it, and be able to share this experience as parents and people instead of a medical professional. I was hoping we could see the baby at the same time, and just be equals in this. Am I being selfish for wanting this to be my way? Update. I am going to confront him tonight when he gets home. He's already going to be upset because we both have restrictions on how much time we spend on social media sites, and I have significantly surpassed that today and yesterday, which he'll know as soon as he reviews the router logs. I'm hopeful I can catch him before that makes him too upset. I did reach out to some of our mutual friends just to see what he has told them for why this is so important to him, only to learn he never discussed this with them. I think he made up what he has been saying. They said they were really shocked to learn we've been having this disagreement and were actually quite supportive of an expectant mother controlling her birth plan. I'm quite nervous about his reaction to this as well, and I'd like to get ahead of this. Wish me luck and cross your fingers for me. Second and final update. Hello all. I first want to say thank you. Thank you every single one of you who took the time to reply, send messages, check up on me, send me messages, and share your stories. I've read so much more than I'll ever be able to respond to. Thank you. Those who took the time to share resources and volunteer your own time. You are angels in the flesh. Thank you. I'm so incredibly touched by this overwhelming outpour of love and support. Also, thank you to even the people who told me I was selfish or crazy or any other derogative you chose to use. I'm not sure what helped me more, the people posing such great questions about if I felt safe, comfortable, loved, or the people telling me I was the terrible person. Something about attempting to reread my story as an outsider and seeing the comments where Redditors told me I was in fact the problem broke something in me, and I finally saw through the haze. But hey, maybe try to be nicer to strangers on the internet and consider your words more carefully. We're all people trying to get through life. So many of you are kind, caring, and loving individuals. Thank you for caring about some random on the internet. I don't even have words. I can't say a whole lot about these last few days. So much has happened that I will be processing for years to come. All I can say is I am safe. And I am free. Read into that as you will. My next steps are leaving this chapter of my life behind. I'm moving out of this city and I'm going to try starting again somewhere new. Somewhere beautiful where every time I look outside, it's hard to believe it's real life. I've always felt drawn to the mountains with all of their beauty and might. I don't plan to ever log into this account, or even Reddit, ever again. I did the same thing at 16. And I'm hopeful these last few decades have set me up for more success than I had the first time chasing a new start. If you read my story, and you relate to it in any way, or you to feel smothered, voiceless, and alone every single day locked in the house with someone who is supposed to love you, I just want you to know what I now know. That isn't normal. That isn't what life is supposed to be. There are people you can rely on, and strangers can be your best friend. The cost may be steep, but the cost to stay is so much more. Farm this post for all of the comments and support available. I pass it on to you and beg you to use what resources you can find. The sheer volume of personal messages or receipt from people in the same boat. People sharing support. People checking in to make sure I was okay. There's such a community here, and they will help you before you even realize you need it. I'm not sure what's next, and that's terrifying but also refreshing. I haven't had that in so many years. Am I the a-hole? Husband thinks I don't do enough around the house because I sit down. Trigger warning. This post mentions hired help at home. If you're going to whine about me being rich or whatever, keep scrolling. It happened on another post. My husband and I both work. I make almost for X what he does because he recently switched careers and started over. I fully supported his decision. I grew up in a third world country with cheap labor, so my mom hired and managed the help and ran the house. Naturally, I'm not super inclined to do home chores I didn't grow up doing, like cooking and cleaning. So I hired pay and manage a nanny to care for the kids while I'm at work and make us dinner on weekdays, a cleaning lady to clean the whole house and do laundry every 2 weeks, and DoorDash on weekends, out of my own salary. We consider all money ours. I'm just pointing out that I work extra to cover all those things, since I don't do them myself, therefore I am not burdening anyone else. Of note, his mom never outsourced anything and did all those things herself. So there's definitely a cultural element. My husband does more of the physical labor around the house, random gardening, fixing things, taking out the garbage, etc. He does organize things when they get messy, which I'm much more relaxed about because we have 2 under 2. So things get messy again as soon as you tidy up. I do all the invisible load stuff, make and ensure we keep appointments, buy, stock everything everyone needs including groceries every week, plan schedules and classes and trips, etc. I basically keep the house running, like my mom did when I was growing up. Like I said, we have 2 young kids. I take care of them when I get home from work, while the nanny cooks. Husband and I each do 1 bedtime. On weekends, we each do 1 wake up. So we try to split it pretty evenly. Once the kids go to bed, we both have a couple of hours to unwind. I work at the hospital. Husband works from home and has a ton of downtime during the workday hours when he works out, does whatever he wants, and does things around the house. Is what I'm doing my fair share for the family? Husband sometimes thinks I should do more, because what I do can easily be done sitting on the couch. He basically hates it when I sit down, use my phone, or have the TV on even if I'm feeding the baby, watching our toddler, making calls or setting up appointments, writing schedules, ordering groceries, etc. He wants me up and at it, visibly doing stuff around the house. He does not wish me to hire more help. He wants me to do it. In my opinion, the fact that the things I do could be done while sitting down does not make them any less crucial. Not to mention, he's not very good at doing them himself. For example, we've been seeing a marriage counselor for our issues that I naturally scheduled and paid for. I told him that since he thinks making apps is so easy, he could handle booking the counselor. Once it became his job, it never got done, and he straight up said to me, "Never mind. We don't need a counselor. Our marriage is fine." What do you think? I believe we both do things for the house and family that play to each of our individual strengths and what we grew up learning to do. Is our arrangement fair, or should I step up and do more in my limited time? Edited to add, I am not incapable of doing house chores, and I do contribute to them getting done myself. I tidy up the living spaces. I do dishes if I see them sitting in the sink. I wash and sterilize the baby bottles. I set or clear the table, and whatever else on the day-to-day. When the nanny is on vacation, I do all of IT myself. I simply never learned to cook dinner or clean a big house. I'm sure I can read a recipe and put ingredients in a pot. I can iron a shirt and do laundry. I can learn to clean a house. It's not weaponized incompetence. It's just not my forte, or something I wish to use my time on if I can spend it with my kids, which is worth way more to me, or simply resting and recharging after working a very demanding job as a doctor. I did not grow up rich most of my life, my husband did. I was a good middle class until finances changed and I was actually poor for a good 20 years. I went to medical school on a full scholarship and did it with no books of my own, neither borrowed or downloaded for free. No computer, no internet, etc. We still had help at home because we took on a lady that would work for us in return for housing, food, other necessities. We love her and consider her part of our family. I worked my ass off to come this far and be able to provide for my family. So spare me with the "you're insufferable and rich." That's why the disclaimer is there. My husband works from home on a desk, so he sits down for that. But on his free time, he's always going around doing things around the house, on his feet. We do outsource gardening and have a handyman. We don't just pay for the things I don't want to do, but he still finds things to do. Fix, clean around the house. According to him, there's always things to do, and that's what he wants me to help with. I only mention that I make more money to point out that one, I'm carrying my weight financially, and two, I'm specifically paying for those chores I want to take on myself, instead of dumping the responsibility on my husband to work more to pay for it. If I did not clarify that I'm making that money, you would come after me for being a gold digger and making my husband pay staff so I don't do anything. Again, it happened on another post. Edit 2. My husband was in a different field that could easily make him almost as much as I do. He decided he was unhappy and wanted to start over doing something different. I fully supported him. He went back to school with a crazy tuition, as it was Ivy League, and took on this entry-level position. So he chose to make less money to follow his dream. I have no problem with this at all. I don't want him to be unhappy just to make money. But I believe it is a privilege that he can afford to follow that dream. Man, let me carry the financial burden. My job is already my dream, so I'm happy.